This is it. Match day 8, the final roll of the dice in the Champions League. Chelsea, Liam Rosenior's Chelsea, has had a dream start to his time as head coach at Chelsea. 4 wins in 5. But on Wednesday, he walks into the Lions' den. We are at the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona to face Antonio Conte's Napoli in a Chelsea game. Unbeaten all season at home, Napoli, but it's currently in the middle of an injury crisis. So I'm looking forward. I am really, really looking forward to this match. And can Liam Rosenior's new Chelsea exploit Conte's suffering team as it stands at the moment? We're going to get into the latest in Cole Palmer, Liam Rosenior's comments in the press conference, and also potential preferred lineup in this video. So make sure you tune in for that. Now, of course, Chelsea currently sitting in the top 8 at the Champions League. It's a moment for us that I feel like we should be hopefully confident with. Now, Liam Rosenior's had some really easy games to start his time at Chelsea, with some really good fixtures to start and get a run of games, run of fixtures. And we got to see that in terms of Crystal Palace at the weekend with a resounding win. Brilliant from Estêvão. But we need to see more. This is going to be the biggest test, I think, for Liam Rosenior. Not because it's his second game in charge in the Champions League, but also because you're coming up against one of the big giants, Antonio Conte. You're coming into a Napoli team, as I said, that is unbeaten at home. I think that stems back from months. So it could be 20 plus games. I don't think they've been unbeaten all season, but we're coming up against a team that is seasoned, that is not unfamiliar with being very, very good in terms of low blocks, sitting back and counter-pressing when they need to. Now, I do think in terms of what I expect us to do tomorrow night, I do expect us to hopefully show a bit of bravery. I'm going to use that word very early in this video, bravery. Now, if Cole Palmer isn't fit and he's just been sent with the team just to get a nice little trip out to Naples, then of course, fine. But this has to be a moment for Liam Rosenior. No mistakes, no silliness. Don't risk him. He's missed a lot of football this season, Cole Palmer, but he did come out also in the press conference and said that all the noise and the nonsense around Manchester United is absolute garbage. It's trash. It's rubbish. He's happy. He's irreplaceable. He's irreplaceable at the team. So I'm happy that he's come out, Liam Rosenior, and said that. Now, he also did go on to say that he's expecting a really tough game. One thing with Liam Rosenior, actually, is that he loves to credit the other managers. He did it with Pep not too long ago, and he said, Pep's my idol. He's now saying that Maradona's his idol. He's also praised Antonio Conte in the press conference earlier on this evening. But what I want to see from Liam Rosenior is very much more of the same. I want to see some attacking flair. I want to see Reece James come into that box midfield and travel as a 4 going forward and pressing with urgency. Now, of course, Napoli, which we'll show shortly on the screen in a minute, Napoli will want to try and do what they can do normally, stretch out their wing backs, press high up, push us back, and try and attack us on the counter-attack if we do advance forward with the ball. But one of the key things I think is going to be so important in this game for me, so important, is how we get that distribution from front to back. Because I'm watching Sanchez, who I thought played amazing against Crystal Palace, and I feel like he's growing into his moment as our goalkeeper for this season. And I need to see more of that from Sanchez tomorrow night. I really do. We need to see more of that. We need to see a good centre-back partnership. Now, of course, with Napoli, Rasmus Højlund, we know about Scott McTominay, 2 of their top performing players this season in terms of goals and assists. We have to be careful, because as much as I think they're currently sitting 4th in Serie A, and they haven't had the best of seasons, and as I said, they have got some injuries, they still have a squad that is very, very, very capable of causing us problems. And I think, as I said, bravery is a good word to use, but also not stupidity and bravery together, because we have to make sure that when we are attacking, and if we lose possession of the ball, we have the mindset to get back and defend and help whoever's in our centre-backs. Help them. We can't leave them exposed in this game, because it will be a hostile game for us to go into. A very hostile game. Now, Napoli have had mixed bag of form in the last 5 games. But Antonio Conte is a very, very good manager. And he's going to relish the opportunity coming up against his previous employers and he praised them today. He praised Roman Abramovich. He praised Marina Granovskaya. He praised the current ownership and even praised how the team is playing at the moment. So he understands that he's up for his own challenge tomorrow evening. But we have to just focus on being as consistent. And by consistent, I mean the way that we played against Crystal Palace. We need to take that form into this game tomorrow evening and showcase what we can do. Because if we don't, do you really want to play another two-legged tie in a congested fixture list when we're trying to push for top four, trying to get into the League Cup final, trying to advance into the FA Cup? So this has to be a game where we can advance through, save ourselves some time, recover some players back from injury. Obviously, Romeo Lavia is back in training now, another player that was spoken about at the press conference this evening. But we have to make sure that we give ourselves the best opportunity. And we did that last week with Paphos, that win. But this is the bigger game. This is just as big a game as it was last week at Stamford Bridge. So with no further words being said, let's get straight into the predicted lineup. Now, as you can see, I have gone with a very, I would say, probably our first choices here. I've gone for Robert Sanchez in goal. As you can see, Robert Sanchez is currently our goalkeeper. Now, Robert Sanchez, as I keep saying on these videos, has impressed me time and time again. Looks very comfortable, much more comfortable than he did when we first signed him. And not just that, I think with Robert Sanchez as well, he's almost beginning to build up a relationship between him and Trevor Chalobah. And it has been Badiashile, but I'm hoping it'll be Fofana. Obviously, Aaron Anslamino, who is, again, Liam Rosenior spoke about in a press conference, has to have a conversation with him on Thursday or Friday and understand how he's going to fit into this defensive back line as well. But I'm hoping tomorrow evening it's Chalobah, Fofana, Robert Sanchez playing higher up as he has been under Liam Rosenior. Now, Reece James I've gone for as the right back with Marco Correa on our left side as well. And I've also gone with Andre Santos, Moises Caicedo. Now, I have to point out Andre Santos against Crystal Palace was absolutely immense. Everything he did in that pitch was exactly what I think Liam Rosenior got to see of him in his Strasbourg days, because he looked amazing alongside Moises Caicedo. And the reason I'm saying that is because it frees up the opportunity for Enzo Fernandez to jump higher up the pitch into that number 10 role and make it his. And again, Enzo, I thought was brilliant. I thought he was brilliant. And I think he gives you a little bit more when he's a bit more forward advanced in the midfield. He gives you that extra opportunities, creativity going forward. And like I've said as well, he reminds me of Frank Lampard at times, the way he can just burst into the box very last minute, bullet header, last minute opportunity, take his chance, he scores his goals. Now, Estêvão, for me, Estêvão Willian has to start these games. We talk about Cole Palmer, the game changer in big moments. I think Estêvão is exactly the same. I think Estêvão can be the player that we think he is, that we thought he is, that he can be. We've just got to give him consistent run of games. And I think he'll relish the opportunity up against Spinazzola and Gutierrez on the other side as well. Pedro, Neto, and Estêvão, who I've gone for on the left, Neto, are going to have to try and pin and make this back five, because it will be a back five tomorrow. And we're going to have to see Gutierrez and Spinazzola. We need to, and when I said brave, this is what I meant. I want to see Neto and I want to see Estêvão, and I want to see them driving balls into this area here. And the reason why I want to see Spinazzola here and I want to see Estêvão doing exactly the same is because I'm hoping if it is João Pedro who have gone with the number 9 and Enzo Fernandez who's playing in this area here, I think we need to try and peg back Spinazzola, and I think we need to peg back Gutierrez. Now, the key thing about doing that is if we do lose possession of the ball, and you've got the likes of McTominay and co in this area here, which shall be well advanced, I'm relying on Caicedo and Santos and Enzo Fernandez. That's all players to reset and drop back into their shape very, very quickly, because they're going to have to, because McTominay is a danger. Lobotka's a danger as well. And we know Rasmus Højlund didn't have the best of times at Manchester United, but he's their top goal scorer at Napoli at the moment. So he's going to get opportunities tomorrow. And we have to guard against that. And I think Reece James, who will, again, has opportunity, the luxury of coming out wide, dropping down to the flanks, but also dropping into the midfield as well to then support what eventually will be the box of the midfield, as I said earlier on, with Santos driving forward, Reece James dropping into the midfield, and then Moises Caicedo. And then you'll obviously have Chalobah spreading out wide with Fofana and Sanchez bringing into that sort of advanced role, bringing the ball out, playing out from the back. So I think if we can get exactly what we did against Crystal Palace, but we have to improve it, we have to go up another level. We're going up against Napoli, one of the best in Italian football. We've got to make sure that we put out a team that can do that. And for me, this can be no games where you see a mismatch of players. We've relied on Badia Shield a couple of times recently. I don't want to see him tomorrow. Fofana rested. I think he came on and got a couple of minutes against Palace, but he's got to be in this team tomorrow from the start. He's got to be in the game. Now, one thing I will say before I end the stream, before I end it, we have to make sure, and I'm going to say this probably every single video I do now, we have to make sure we don't do anything stupid. And by that, I mean giving away penalties, red cards, or any silly yellow cards. And I think if I remember correctly, I think it could be, I feel like Andre Santos definitely is one player. And I think it might be Moises Caicedo or Enzo Fernandez, one of the two. But either one of those players, if they pick up a yellow card in this game, there's ramifications of that in the knockout stages if we get there. So we can't afford for stupid mistakes tomorrow. We have to make sure we are on our job. And this is a massive game for Liam Rosenior. Massive game for Liam Rosenior because Paphos is one thing. Charlton is one thing. These are the games where you're going to get judged as a Chelsea manager. These are the games. And there can be no excuses because if you remember back to Graham Potter and we needed those results, we got them. We got those results in the Champions League under him. We did. So there can be no mistakes from Liam Rosenior. There can be no excuses. I don't want to hear the boys gave everything at the end of the game if they never. Now, I've gone with my preferred lineup. I want to know what you guys are going to go for in your preferred lineup. I'm going to go for a scoreline of 1-0 Chelsea. I think it's going to be a very difficult game for us. I think it will be difficult because I think Napoli, as I said, set up with 5 defenders at the back. They're going to make it difficult, low blocks, try and hit us on the counter-attack. But I think if we've got Estêvão, we've got Enzo Fernandez, and we've got Pedro Neto giving us some pace in the wider areas, and hopefully João Pedro can pick up some of that excellent form that he showed against Palace on Saturday, then I think we should be able to break them down. But I'm going to go 1-0. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget, please subscribe to the channel. Share this video as much as you can. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Linktree link in description as well. And we'll be back tomorrow with the match review after the game. Let's hope we get through. Champions League, up the Chelsea. Blue Co out.